Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt, and welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. Woof indeed, Wolfie. Woof indeed. Oh, hi. How are you? We apparently have a visitor on episode 332. Oh my gosh. How many arrows does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? No, to destroy a Skeleton. Apparently it's 5. Let's cover up and secure the last episode's hidey hole. Beep. Bop. Woof, sorry, I'm so very suspicious now of my surroundings. Let's grab Wolfie and... it's a pig. Yeah, that's a pig. And continue on. Yeah, like I said, it's episode 332 of Far Lands or Bust. It's also, I suppose, kind of Wolfie's birthday, Tamingday, I suppose. We got Wolfie on episode 32. 32, all the way back on episode 32 of Far Lands or Bust, we tamed Wolfie and have had him ever since. So, Wolfie, how's it going? I think you're already full up on the, hi, he wants to wish you a happy birthday, too. Oh, that's weird. He was going straight for Wolfie. Take it easy, guy. Take it easy. But yeah, episode 32, we got Wolfie. So very cool that he's been with us for 300 episodes. It's crazy town is what that's all about. What are we at for wool? We could use some wool. Sheeps. Woof. Woof indeed. But yeah, regardless... Episode 332 is happening right now, and it is Wednesday, February 26th, 2014. Only this and one more episode before Flop-a-thon. Reminder, this Saturday, March 1st, Far Lands or Bust Marathon live stream. I'm thinking of going the 12-hour route. I may regret this on Saturday morning, when I have to wake up at like 5 a.m. But I believe 12 hours is good. It's a good length, and it actually is nice for the timing. Like I said in the last episode, I want the live stream, the finale, when I press F3 to display my coordinates, to happen about 7 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 6 p.m. Central Time, which is where I'm located in Chicago. That actually is very convenient for those of you across the pond, because that means if I were to do a 12-hour live stream, ended at 6 p.m. Central Time, that means it would start at 12 noon GMT and end at 12 midnight GMT. So do your conversions from there. That's a pretty convenient little time to go with, I think. Because in Central Time, we are actually GMT -6, so that's how that all adds up. So do the math yourself, that's very convenient. Like I said, I'll probably regret this Friday night and into Saturday morning, but I feel like, 12 hours is long enough where it isn't like a 48-hour or 24-hour straight live stream, but then again... Even the first Flop-a-thon was supposed to be 8 hour, 20 minutes, but the catch I did there was for every 1,000 we raised, I did another hour, and it ended up being 12-hour live stream. So I feel like it'll be an homage, if you will, to the first Flop-a-thon, and a nice round number there. So March 1st, 2014. From 12 noon GMT to 12 midnight GMT is Flop-a-thon 2014. Twitch.tv/KurtJMac. I'm also in the process. Yesterday, I didn't record that NASCAR video that went up. I actually recorded on Sunday, and I didn't record anything. It's one of the first days in a long time where what I was doing actually felt like work, because I was programming the kind of the new homepage website that includes the Twitch page and all the information about donations and the contest. I'll get to that. in a second. The contest, the Guess the F3 Distance contest, trying to set up not necessarily guests, but trying to get in contact with people, talking to people about the prize for the contest. So I was hoping to have that up before today's episode, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I do have some teases to give about the contest and things to look forward to for Flop-a-thon. Bah, that guy's looking forward to it indeed. Although he's going to remain there and not really affect too much of Flop-a-thon. But yeah, crazy. So yeah, let's say that. Let's start at 6 a.m. Central Time to 6 p.m. Central Time. That is 12 noon GMT to 12 midnight GMT. I have declared such things. I have declared them. And, oh, hey, speaking of the Child's Play charity, we're going to still be raising money for Child's Play charity. Unfortunately, they changed things on Twitch where you can't embed a donation widget on the Twitch page anymore. So it's going to be, I'm going to be referring people to farlandsorbust.com where the donation widget is going to remain and where we're going to be keeping track of the totals. There'll be a direct link on my Twitch page that will take you directly to the donation page, the donation form. But we are currently, anyway, at... Get this sand out of here. We are currently at 170,582 and 3 cents. Did that make sense? That didn't sound like that rolled off the tongue as well as the number should. $170,582 and 3 cents. There we go. I forgot the word dollars. Dollars! Dollar bills, y'all. That is what's been raised so far for Child's Play charity. And I do appreciate the continued support. I've got some questions and whatnot that you guys asked. I'm not sure that I'm going to get to all of them before the end of the season. Of course, I want to remind you, this Friday, episode 333, is technically not the final episode of the season. After, spoilers, after the live stream, I generally do an extra episode where I build the monument, the F3 monument, which this time is going to contain the glowstone beacon of the second 200 episodes, or whatever I'm going to call it. That's what this one's going to contain. So yeah, I generally have, after Flop-a-thon, a wrap-up season finale episode, and then that will officially be the end of Season 4 of Far Lands or Bust. So look forward to that after the fact. I will also be uploading... Twitch has changed things recently about the connections between YouTube and the ability to download your own videos. But I have the setting correct that will archive the Flop-a-thon, so I will be grabbing a copy of that and uploading it to YouTube for those who miss it. I'm not sure if I'm going to put the entire thing up as a 12-hour video or I'll split it up in hour-long chunks, not sure, but we'll see. So fear not if you're not available on March 1st. You will still be able to see it and enjoy the craziness and the celebration. And, of course, the F3 moment is generally reserved for its own video as well. But we are, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Raising money for Child's Play charity, working on the website, hopefully have that up soon. Oh yes! For those of you who don't know, I haven't pressed F3 since August of 2012, the last Flop-a-thon. I don't even do it away from the camera. I have no idea what my F3 number is. And I started a little bit of a tradition of allowing you guys to guess what the F3 number is going to be. Obviously, it's going to be larger than 699492. That was the last F3 monument number. It's going to be much larger than that. This is the longest duration between F3 presses, moments, I guess you could call them, that there has ever been in the history of Far Lands or Bust. It's kind of unfortunate that everybody was writing articles about Far Lands or Bust and saying that I had walked 700,000 blocks, when in fact that's going to be a woefully small estimate for what we're actually having been walked, this far. So we're going to have, I'm still setting up, like I said, the form and the web pages where you guys can guess. You'll have to enter your email and some information because the closest guess, and this year I'm doing it in any direction. I know in previous years I've done it by Price is Right rules, and I've said the closest guess without going over. But this time I'm just going to do the closest guess on either side, over or under, is going to win a prize. And that prize I am going to share with you in the morning. Suspense. This is what's called retaining your audience. Such a jerk. Where did Wolfie go? Wolfie? He's off cohorting. Wolfie, where did you go? It's your birthday. Alright, well, I guess we'll sleep and then we'll see Wolfie in the morning as well. Don't panic just yet. He's fine. There he is. There he is. He waited for me to plop down the bed. Alright, let's go to sleep and we'll talk about that prize in the morning. And F3 contestness. Right, Wolfie? Sure, right. So yeah, I was talking yesterday with some people about the prize, and it's a prize that's been generously donated to us and Farlanders. Once I have the entry up, I will notify you guys. Follow me on Twitter. I'll definitely have the details on Friday's episode. Might give you guys 48 hours or so to enter this contest. And I've been in talks with and very graciously donated by a company called Shapeways.com is going to offer, for the closest guess to the F3 moment at the end of this year's Flobathon, a $100 gift card to Shapeways.com. Shapeways is a 3D printing resource, marketplace, community. Hold on, I have the tagline that I have to say here. A 3D printing service and marketplace where users can design, make, and sell 3D printed products. 3D printing is a very recent thing in the last decade, and Shapeways, you can design your own 3D object in your certain 3D programs, and it will be printed out. It's very good for rapid prototyping and small batch production of things, but you might have heard of Shapeways more recently because they have a marketplace for Kerbal Space Program figures. You can get a set of Jeb, Bob, and Bill Kerman in their seats, or they have 3D printed other models of the Kerbals. They have Werner von Kerman. They have little planets, and these are all based on the models from Kerbal Space Program that get 3D printed out in color. Sandstone, I believe, is kind of the process that it's used for the Kerbal Space Program guys. So that's very cool. But also they have little wizards that allow you to get your own custom Minecraft skin printed. You can upload your Minecraft skin and they will actually be able to print that out so you can have in your hand a 3D printed, it's almost like a figurine that you can find in the store of your 3D printed model. Or if you win this prize, you could go ahead and get a KurtJMac skin 3D printed if you wanted to. They even have if you have your little Minecraft house or a special building, they have little ways to convert that to get 3D printed. It's very cool, and I suggest you check that out at shapeways.com. Maybe peruse the website and get some ideas rolling in anticipation of entering this contest and maybe getting that gift card. And of course, I want to thank, obviously, shapeways.com for providing this as the grand prize for the Guess the F3 number for this year's Flobathon. Of course, as always, I'm going to be choosing second prizes from all of the entries. Last year we had well over 4,000 entries, and I'm assuming there's going to be more this year since Farlands of Bust has grown considerably since last time, since August 2012. But I'll be choosing random people who enter that to give copies of games, Steam games, Minecraft, perhaps Kerbal Space Program on Steam, different things like that, even Farlands of Bust t-shirts from the Farlands of Bust Spreadshirt shop, which will be very cool. Woof indeed. So even if you don't guess the closest number, you still have a chance to win something. And as always, there's no There's no need, there's no donation or purchase required for these entries or anything, and I'll have the full contest rules and details, 1 entry per person, and we'll have ways to check that out, so be legit, folks, but I apologize for not having that up and ready for entry right now, but just want to give you guys a little bit of a plug for that, and I'm really looking forward to, you know, like I said, it's going to be a total surprise for me. I'm going to have to give my own guess as to what the F3 number is actually going to be. Obviously, throughout the last, what is it? It's over 150 episodes here in Season 4. But you're also going to have to factor in the 12 hours of live streaming on Saturday. So that's very exciting. I'm very much looking forward to that. Indeed. Look forward to the details to that. Follow me on Twitter, KurtJMac, where I will probably, before Friday, be posting an updated link and contest entry form and whatnot. Very cool beans, very cool stuff to be had there. Of course, even though it's separate from the contest, you are more than welcome to keep donating to Child's Play charity at farlandsbus.com. Indeed. Wow, I have quite the spiel today. Look forward to more of that in the next episode, because we're going to be talking all about Flobathon, potential guests, the times, things to look forward to, chats, and all that fun stuff on Friday. And then, of course, Flobathon on Saturday. Woo! Whoa, it's kind of now hitting me. You know, like yesterday I said it was kind of a work day. I was making Photoshop graphics and designs and doing coding and HTML and CSS. It's like my old job. Talking on the phone with the Shapeways people all the way in New York and very all over the place, you know. It's, I much prefer recording video games and doing voiceover commentary on video games, let me say, but this is a kind of a random, rare, celebratory thing that I'm looking forward to doing. But yeah, let's get back to your normal Farlands Bust content. Let's talk about some space news. It was recently published that on September 11th of last year, 2013, it was observed that a meteorite hit the moon. It was observed and recorded live. A meteorite hit the moon. It was observed by the MIDAS scientific system, I suppose. MIDAS stands for Moon Impacts Detection and Analysis System. They have telescopes basically aimed at the moon at all times to try to record the impacts on the moon. And this one was particularly in Spain, where it detected on September 11th the largest explosion impact detected on the moon in our modern times, which is very cool stuff indeed. It's been detected before. It basically is a flash, and they observe the moon when it's a new moon. Obviously, when it's a full moon or the moon is illuminated by the sun, it's far too bright to really see these sort of things. So during a new moon, I think that's how they do it anyway. They can have their telescopes pointed at the moon, the surface of the moon, and detect these flashes of light, which obviously meteorites don't have any explosive, they're not made of TNT or C4 or anything like that, but it's simply the fact that this meteorite was estimated to be traveling and impacting at the speed of over 38,000 miles per hour. And this one was estimated to be only about 1 meter across, 1 meter across, and it released about 15 tons of TNT's worth of energy. It's simply the transfer of energy of this moving object, about a half a ton, 1 meter across object, hitting the surface of the moon and coming to a stop just releases a large amount of energy, and hence the explosion that gets detected by this MIDAS system. So that's very cool. The video's out there on YouTube. Perhaps I will remember to link to it in the video description below. Very cool thing. And it would be a very, these are the types of things that amateur astronomers really, really would like to see once you're looking up in the sky at the moon, perhaps. Obviously, unless you're recording it with video, there's no way to prove that, I saw an explosion on the moon. You'll just have to take my word for it and hope somebody else saw it and confirms your observation as well. But there are even amateur astronomers who point their telescopes at Jupiter and have in the past detected impacts on Jupiter, which is why they've kind of revised the chances. It must happen much more frequently than we know, because just in the past decade there have been many impacts viewed on Jupiter, and then the scars, the after effects of that can be seen. So I'm sure this one that's been seen on September 11th, people will be looking at the area perhaps with more fine-tuned telescopes and instruments, and perhaps even orbiters. NASA satellites going to the moon to map or watch the surface of the moon will be mapping that particular area to see if they can see the impact point, to see the freshly exposed regolith on the moon would be very interesting. So that's very cool. That is very cool. And actually, a little bit more astronomy news. Just before I started recording, I checked and saw in my feed that a new paper was released from the Kepler Space Telescope. The Kepler telescope is the exoplanet hunting telescope. It looks at a certain region of the sky. I believe they look at over 14,000 stars, and they try to detect exoplanets via the transit method. When a planet passes in front of its parent star, the brightness of the star dims periodically, slightly. And they just announced that 715 new planets have been verified orbiting over 300, or orbiting exactly, these are exact numbers, 305 stars. 715 new exoplanets announced today. Of course, a lot of those planets are large, gas, Jupiter-sized planets, but 4 of those 715 are less than 2.5 times the size of Earth and orbit within their sun's habitable zone. So we have 4 new potential habitable planets found. Of course, we don't know if those are gassy planets or if they're not having atmospheres or the specific surface data from those planets, but that's very cool news. Let's go to sleep, and we'll continue in the morning. And exoplanetsness. It's very cool stuff. I feel like it's our generation within our lifetime that we will indeed. Oh, he's already full up. Happy birthday, Wolfie. We will indeed find some sort of Earth-like planet, exoplanet, and perhaps even find evidence, direct, verifiable evidence of life or past life within our own solar system. Speaking of alien life, there's a creeper. Good. Or even find actual current life within our solar system. I also saw a blurb. I didn't click on the article or find specific information, so you'll have to excuse my lack of details about it. But it's also been a paper was released that has found that Titan, the moon of Saturn, that has an atmosphere and oceans of liquid methane, and a very quasi-Earth-like planet, although it's a moon, within our own solar system. They're now estimating and showing through data from Cassini, and of course the Huygens, I'm not sure how to say it, Huygens probe that landed on the surface of Titan. They're finding that it actually, underneath its crust, its rocky crust, and of course those oceans and lakes of liquid methane, underneath there is an ice crust, and underneath that is liquid water, an ocean, a subsurface layer of liquid water, which is news. News. Obviously, we think underneath Europa and Enceladus and the other ice moons of these planets, and even now Ceres. Wolfie, come up for air. Wolfie. Oh gosh, that took him a while. Underneath Ceres, the large asteroid kind of protoplanet in the asteroid belt has liquid water, H2O, beneath its surface that it's spewing out. Now it's seen that Titan as well. Titan was kind of for a while, Titan's very interesting. It has this atmosphere, it has these lakes. It's very interesting and a very nice target for potential life, microbial of course, but life within our solar system. And then it's kind of been ruled out a little bit because the pH you know, the acidity of its atmosphere and its oceans is a little bit high for any life that we may be able to know or detect. And now it's kind of been flipped once again and saying, well, there is actually this subsurface ocean layer of water that is potentially underneath the surface, and perhaps in there, with the combination of all this other, you know, organic evidence, could survive some life underneath there, maybe. Of course, getting to that and proving that is another story entirely. But yeah, very cool stuff happening in space. Space. Indeed. But yeah, let's wow, I've got a lot to talk about. Like I said, a lot of these questions that I've been getting through the donations, I probably won't even be able to get to before the end of the season. So worry not, Farlanders. If you have asked a question and I haven't answered it, you might have to wait until season 5 for me to get around to them, because we've got a lot of business to talk about coming up to Flop-a-thon, all this awesome space news to talk about. But I will try to answer... let me try to answer stuff related to like Farland's Bust and Minecraft. That seems the most interesting. From Vectashian, their donation asks, do you think there's a possibility that Farland's Bust will end? Ooh, floating sand L. Oop, I'm not going to do that because Wolfie's underneath it. Speaking of suffocation damage. All right, that's fine. Hold on. Gotta make a boat. Ooh, I need some wooden planks as well. Whoop. So yeah, Vekatishan. Vekatishan asks, do you think there's a possibility that Farland's Bust will end due to the terrain jitters making viewers uncomfortable or yourself uncomfortable whilst playing it? The jitters, of course, let me explain, are due to the imprecision. As the further away you get from 0, in your coordinates, the decimal point moves over and over. There are so many integers? Is that the word I'm looking for? Not integers. Just, there are only so many spaces to put your coordinates on the X and Z coordinate system in Minecraft. And the further you get from 0, the bigger that whole number becomes, and the decimal place moves over. Therefore, you lose the precision of those decimal points. Obviously, a single block is 1.0. So on a single block, there are not endless, but there's precision within this one block. There is a precise amount of fractions of this one block that I can be standing on. And as we get further away, that precision gets less and less. And as you can see, it's best illustrated by looking at the selection box, this little black border that goes around whatever block you have selected or are pointing at is offset by the amount that I am also jittering in my stepping across the world. And yeah, some people have mentioned that it's kind of annoying. It has nothing to do with lag or frame rate, or I'm getting a steady 205 frames per second here, although I'm recording at 30 frames a second, so it's kind of pointless for those of you watching on YouTube, as YouTube is limited to 30 frames per second no matter what. Not due to that, not due to the frame rate or my computer or anything like that. It's just simply the game not knowing specifically where I am on the map. So yeah, there is this jitteriness. One of the major effects of walking so far and getting towards the far lands. Similar math, but different reasons why the far lands end up generating at the point that they do, some 12.5 million blocks from spawn. But I don't know. It's something, and it's kind of one of the reasons I'm on this journey. I'm very much interested in breaking this game. Legitimately, though. Obviously, we can break the game by causing a bunch of lag, by putting a bunch of repeaters or redstone contraptions. Obviously, if you talk to people like Etho or Seth Bling, who get really into the programming, the underbelly, the command blocks of the current versions of the game, can make interesting contraptions that generate stuff, that generate, weird, wacky terrain and stuff like that, or you can just flat out teleport yourself to the far lands, and that causes a lot of lag and problems. Wow, look at that structure. Let's go check out that mountain range. This land we've been traversing lately is a little bit flat and boring, so let's head even further north to set off our XY coordinates a little bit further, but yeah, I don't know. I don't want it to become unplayable. Obviously, the main, it's far lands or bust. I would rather it not bust. I'd rather reach the far lands, but eventually I or Wolfie might start glitching into blocks because, once again, especially here on the border of a block, the game doesn't know precisely where I'm at. It might suddenly think I'm inside that block when I shouldn't be. And that's happened in the past. Wolfie has taken some damage, and I have sometimes gotten stuck in like a leaf block. But it's not too terrible right now, so I'm just going to keep continuing. Obviously, if you guys can't watch because of the jitteriness, I try, well, except right there, I try to walk on one axis. You really only see the jitteriness when I'm walking across the two axi, and it really gets jittery. It's not too bad when I try to stay on one path. But, if it does get too bad for you, I apologize. I know a lot of people do enjoy watching or listening to this as more of a podcast type situation than per se a Let's Play on YouTube, which is fine. It's like a podcast, a vloggy type of thing. That's fine. And I have, spoiler alert, no general movement in this direction has been taken. I have plenty of other things to worry about, but I have considered starting perhaps with Season 5, also offering this in another format, perhaps just in audio format. It'd be kind of weird because you'll hear the Minecraft sounds in the background, and like this day started out, eventually I'll be talking and then blah, creeper. So might be a little bit disjointed just watching as a straight up podcast, but I've considered alternate distribution methods to kind of to appease you folks who might not necessarily want to watch on YouTube or watch the video, and that's perfectly fine. So keep that in mind. But yeah, thank you very much, Vetakashien. Sorry for butchering your name. For that question, and of course the donation to Child's Play charity. You guys can keep doing that, and heck, maybe your question will be one of the first of Season 5 if I don't get to it before the end of this season. Over at farlandsorbust.com. Child's Play charity, helping get toys, books, games to kids in hospitals around the world. Great cause. Of course, Child's Play, as always, supporting Far Lands or Bust, and I appreciate them. They're on, go to the homepage. Did you just make a, weird noise? Or was that just me? Happy birthday, Wolfie? Yeah, you did. I don't know if that was right now or earlier. But let's get in the hidey hole here and close ourselves off. Beep. Oh, that was... Oh, there's cathedral ceilings in this hidey hole. Watch out. Oh, I kind of... This is a poor little excuse for a hidey hole. But yeah, sorry, I was saying, you go to childsplaycharity.org to learn more about Child's Play Charity, but you'll see on the homepage, Far Lands or Bust is listed as a platinum sponsor, and that, obviously, is your guys' doing. You are the ones who have raised, in the history of Far Lands or Bust, over $250,000, $250,000, just from Far Lands or Bust. And obviously the 117,000 coming from Mindcrack Marathon, which was amazing. But raised for Child's Play Charity, so we are indeed a platinum sponsor to Child's Play Charity. So I really appreciate that, those folks, and I'm looking forward to, obviously, don't forget, this Saturday, 12 hours of Far Lands or Bust, Flobathon 2014, rounding off Season 4 of Far Lands or Bust with the F3 moment, and stay tuned for specific instructions and a link to the entry form for the Guess Kurt's Distance F3 contest thingamabob for your chance to win some second prizes, games, Far Lands or Bust merchandise, maybe a Far Lands or Bust mug is something you want, and or the grand prize, of a Shapeways gift certificate, so you can maybe get your own Minecraft 3D printed thingamabob. Thingamabob. Ooh. Or even a Kerbal Space Program figure. Go check that out, like I said, at shapeways.com. Maybe start making a wish list, picking things out for yourself. I would appreciate it. And once again, I appreciate those folks at Shapeways for reaching out and offering this to our fans, to Farlanders. One more episode to go. Buckle your safety belts. Woof, indeed, Wolfie. Happy birthday once again. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time.